Oh, I guess we're on. What are you doing?
Trying to, cause you, trying to get it in my ear, but it's like the headphones. It's a whole hot mess over here. It's a.
I'm actually excited about the uncut, raw and uncut
I
TBR
am.
Lowdown,
I
raw and
am
uncut.
too. You should definitely put that in the title, like raw and uncut. That should be like. I like that. I like it a
Hmm.
lot.
For those
Mm.
committed folks who want to spend 2 hours watching us just be
Hey,
ridiculous.
if you want the edited version, listen to the podcast audio form. I also ate the rest of my omelet, and it was delicious.
Wonderful. I'm
It was
still full
just
for my wonderful
wonderful.
breakfast sandwich. I feel like I have to walk people. Maybe I'll make a short and I'll just walk y'all through my go-to breakfast sandwich because
Mm.
it's really good.
I love a good breakfast Sammy when I'm in the
It's
mood for
easy
one.
to create,
Yeah, yeah.
super fast,
I
very
like it.
delicious.
I like it. I don't even cook breakfast anymore. It's fine. Okay, yeah. Let's do it. All right.
She is excited.
I am excited. I am excited. Excited. That's because I'm waking up. I took a leave this morning, so like cramps be damned. You are. Mm. Oh, like as soon as I woke up, I popped those a leave right in my mouth. As soon as I woke up.
I'm waiting for mine to come because if like you popped off and Lacey popped off, then that means I'm popping off soon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not okay with that.
Right. See, this is day two, and for me, day two is the worst.
Oh,
So
it's the
I
worst.
I didn't even fuck around. As soon as I woke up, I just reached over on the nightstand, grabbed the Aleve, and popped them while I was still laying down.
Have
It's
you
like
seen
you
those
gonna get
like
me.
have you seen those TikToks or like videos where men wear the contraption that makes you have things like a contraction
No,
slash period pants,
no.
period cramps? Because apparently period cramps are like 1 meter. I keep saying 1 meter, 1 centimeter dilated. I said this to somebody else the other day, and I said 1 meter, and they were like, "Imagine your vagina being 1 meter dilated. That baby would just fall out."
Right.
like,
So
but yeah, like, and they like turn it up, you know, to like 1 centimeter, and the guys like fall over because they can't.
what?
Because they can't handle it. I'll find them one day. I'll find them
Please,
because
yeah.
because now
Whenever
that
you
we're
run across
talking
one,
about it,
send me one.
the phone will listen and it'll pop it up and I'll find it. And
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's hilarious. And then you
Well,
just think about what what we just walk around like that.
we just walk around like that. And what do you guys do? Nothing.
do, do it once
Nothing.
and then they fall over.
We are superheroes.
We are
Okay.
superheroes.
We walk around like that and we still have to carry on with doing all the things to keep things going. So,
Yeah. Woo, women. Woo, women. Do you know what I did recently?
what?
You may or may not, because I did post about it. But you know the feminist book club box that
That Carmen
can't,
gets?
yeah, that Carmen gets, and I think
Mm-hmm.
she does some work with them too.
Yeah, she
I
does.
finally tried it out because I've been like thinking about it, and they had this really great tumbler, which I need like a hole in the head, but yeah, so I finally ordered one, so I'm
Oh my
excited to get it.
gosh. Oh my god. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
I mean,
so
I'm
I'm excited.
always impressed with her boxes that she gets.
Yeah, I feel like she like literally works with them, but maybe she's just been a rep for so like she's so deeply entrenched in repping that it feels like she's like a founder. Does that make any sense?
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah. I you don't get to choose your book though, right? They just send you one and you don't know what it is.
You know what everything is in this box,
Oh,
so
okay.
I can look it all up actually.
Because there were a couple of book clubs that I really wanted to join, book subscription boxes that I wanted to join, but I didn't because they don't tell you what you're getting. They just send you a book, and I'm like, oh, I can't play those kind of games. I,
You're
I
gonna
can't play those kind of games.
you're gonna kill me because I think I hit my mic. But
I'm not because that's on your separate track and you weren't talking, so I'll just boop silence that right out.
so I think that they have different boxes. It looks like that you can get that are sort of always available. And then
Okay.
and you can see what the books month was Dial A for Aunties, which I actually kind of really want to read that
I
book.
kind of want to read that one too for fun. I heard it was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have different, like they had like in June, they had a non binary voices box. And I'm just looking at their website here. They've got different bundles like poetry, memoir, contemporary fiction. So October theme, true crime. You might want that one.
Mm.
Um, Anyways, in this month's box, it looks like you get a tumbler. You get this thing that says F student debt. I don't know if that's like
Yes. Yes. I
I don't know.
need that one.
What does it say? It's a pin and postcard that says F student debt.
I'm
Uh,
down.
the book
Yeah.
is called Word Slut, A Feminist's Guide to Taking Back the English Language, which
Mm.
just sounds interesting. And then there's some book plates and a notebook and a snacky.
Mm.
And what I really want is the tumbler that
Right.
says, I'm doing a juice cleanse, except instead of juice, it's righteous fury. And the thing I'm giving up is subjugation to the male dominated power structures.
Okay, I like that. I like that. How much is the box?
It was 60, which is
And
expensive.
that's every month?
I guess so. But I
Okay.
think you can change, I don't know, you can buy it in chunks. But for like a one off thing, that's not awful. And
Yeah, a one-off thing, right, right.
and it looks like it kind of changes. Some of the pass boxes look like they're like 50. I mean,
I
they're
guess
not
depending on how much
cheap.
stuff they put on the inside of it, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. They're not cheap but they're not like I mean, that's I'm a Lumicrate and it's not delivering like I think they give a donation to some let's see what it says. I think they give a donation to something.
Right.
Oh, it looks like they're like $50. I don't know, I'm confused. Because I'm trying to look at the true crime box for next month. Oh, it goes to the charity of the month. So that's why I can't see it because every month is a different
Oh, well,
charity.
that's kind of different. I like that. That's nice to
Yeah.
a good way to spread it around, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And if you can hear Hemi barking, I'm sorry. So, like this month, it looks like Oh, no, it still doesn't say what the spotlight organization is for the month. It's got to be somewhere and I'm just missing it.
Mm-hmm. Not bad.
Yeah. So it's
I
kind of
don't
cool.
know. I'm not joining any more things. So, book of the month is it for me. And they better get on it with these selections.
Well, what annoyed me about last month was that I didn't really want any of the main picks, but I got a main pick because I wanted something else. And I think that they've caught on to that. And they know that someone will get a main pick and then they'll go and they'll buy like another one.
What was
Did what did I
did I
get?
get something?
I got Velvet is the Night and I got the new Sally Rooney, which were two books I really wanted, right?
Yeah.
And I don't remember what I even picked for my book of the month because I don't even remember what it was. Oh, it was like
Didn't you get that memoir?
I did. I
Beautiful
got a
Country?
memoir. Yes, that's what it was called. And it sounded very, very good, which is fine. And, part of what I like about Book of the Month is it can introduce me to, or any of these book subscription things. It's not just unique
Right.
to Book of the Month. It's introducing me to something that I otherwise wouldn't have picked or known
Right.
about. Shut up, Hemi. What are you barking at? Lord. Uh, I walked you. I fed you. He was so quiet earlier, and now look at him. Um, yeah, like I just feel like, and now I'm upset because you said you didn't like China Room, and I did that last month.
I think so. I skipped this month because I told you all that because I've had certain dark things by Sylvia Garcia Moreno sitting on my shelf since 2019, as well as her other book, Gods of Jade and Shadow, that I was not going to buy Velvet Was the Night until I read those other two books. So I didn't get that. And nothing else interested me. I think I did get one book in July, and that was Damnation Springs, which I was waiting for that book, and I was hoping Book of the Month had it. So that was great. I got that. And then the other 2 months I skipped.
Yeah, these lulls because I've been a member for years, and they like just go through these like moments where they're really, really great, and like every month is just like kick ass, and then and
Yeah.
then they come back up, and yeah, I think for the long haul, it's a good investment.
Oh,
I
I
do
still
get
think it's a great subscription service. I do. I think it's super affordable. I mean, you cannot beat like adding on a hardcover book for 9.99. I mean, that's great. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
it's
Um,
fantastic.
so I have no plans in ever canceling unless they do something crazy. But yeah, I'm glad they give you the option to skip.
Oh, I think
So
I figured out why Hemi's barking because
is it somebody?
FedEx just dropped something off.
I'm hoping they have some really good stuff for October.
Me too. I really do hope they have a better main pick selection
Yeah.
because I don't like having to go like why would you not make the Sally Rooney book a main pick?
Right.
Right? Like that is
Everyone's been waiting for it.
wasn't the Riley Sager the same way like last month? Everyone was waiting for that Riley Sager book, not that I gave two shits, but like
Right.
wasn't everybody waiting for it and that was somewhere else? Are they doing it so that people get more than one book? Is it a marketing tactic?
Oh, it wasn't a main pick last month? Why
I
did I
don't
think it
think it was. I
was?
thought it was like an add-on book.
Oh. I
I
don't
could be
I
wrong,
guess
but
I
maybe I'm
guess I
thinking
don't
maybe
think
it's
it
different.
matters whether it's a main pick or an add-on. The point is they need to offer it.
Yeah.
Because there have been a lot of months where I was like, how come you all aren't offering this particular book? Like the book world talking about this book. How are you not offering this, whether it's as a main pick or as an add-on?
Yeah.
It's like I don't like. How are you guys sourcing what you're going to make available each month? Like what's that process look like? Because there have been some like heavily anticipated books to come out, and it's like Book of the Month is like, nope, not offered here. Go somewhere else. And I was like, this is odd, but
Well,
whatever.
I'm not necessarily mad at them not offering like all the really hyped books.
Not hyped,
Sometimes
not the hype ones.
or
Just how,
anticipated books.
yeah,
But also like some things just feel like they should be offered.
yes, I agree.
Like I want you to introduce me to things I probably never would have read, but also like you should have your finger on the pulse of the book world, right? And know that this is a go-to and we need to offer this because this is something that people will be for.
And they should, because they're one of the few where you can get more than one book.
Yeah. And you can pick it yourself.
Books a month. Exactly. So you should always, again, have your ears to the ground on what the literary world is really talking about and anticipating to come out. So,
Yeah.
anyway, we still love Book of the Month.
Yeah, we do. Sponsor
Also,
us.
sponsor us, TBR Lowdown. Yes, sponsor us, please. Thank you.
Cute. I've given you enough of my money. Now give me some money back.
Get just a little. So, what are we talking about today? What's happening?
Ooh, you did it, not me. Oh.
That's called flipping it on you. All right.
I think we're just having a little chitty chit chat about
Chit-chat.
weird things that we see on or that we hear slash see slash whatever on
Yes.
Instagram. It's just a little chitty chat
Yes.
about just like some of the strange things about, I guess, bookish social media,
Social media.
social media. I need to tap my mouth a little bit. What are those like voice exercises? Like
I know. Yes.
Peter picked a pepper.
Let's go back to the theater.
Ow.
To the theater
Ow.
practices. This is when our personal conversations, we realized, wait a minute, should this be a podcast episode? And the answer was yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We were just
'Cause we
talking
can't-
about this.
We can't be the only people who find this a little strange.
Right. Right.
Or maybe we are.
Maybe. So this is just going to be a very bookish conversation. We're going to talk a little bit about some things we feel that are strange on Bookstagram.
Mm-hmm.
And we're saying specifically Bookstagram because we were also talking about, because I know for me, I was wondering, like, readers on Facebook, do they have the same thoughts and ideals as the readers on Bookstagram? Like, because I'm not in that Facebook world. I don't like Facebook. I'm not in that Facebook world. I don't know what readers think. Why do I keep joining Facebook groups and I'm not on Facebook? Anyway, whole other topic. So I don't know if it's the same over there. Do they think the same, have the same pressures and whatever as
Yeah,
Bookstagram? I don't know.
we're much more entrenched in Bookstagram. I think I have a very tiny idea of what BookTube is like, but I don't really interact because, like, I don't know how you build like a friendship on BookTube. It's like
Well,
weird to,
that's different. You don't really build.
but
It's
people
not the
do.
same.
But people do, and I don't know how they do it. And like, I don't know how do I make friends? Like, I don't know, even know how I made friends on Bookstagram. It just happened, but it was like really easy. Um,
I think on YouTube, I think it happens in the comments.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, let's
I
say
guess
you
I
and I
need to
follow.
stop watching things on my TV and actually like watch them somewhere where I get to comment.
That's part of the problem because I like watching videos on my TV versus my phone. There are certain people I just want to see. Like, I usually watch yours, all of Russell's, Eric Carl, Savage Reed's,
Hmm.
Miranda's, Said by Jess. I like to watch you all on my big TV.
Hmm.
But there are other people I don't mind watching on my phone. But I have a certain list. I just need to see them on my big TV.
Yeah, and that stops me from leaving comments.
Yeah. So
So then
yeah,
I
but I
don't
definitely think
develop a
that's how
relationship.
those friendships are born.
Hmm.
So anyway, let's get into it.
Well, I was gonna say if you're in those communities on the book talks, the tubes, the Facebook book world,
Right. What's that? What's yeah? What do they call it?
book face. I
Do
don't
you
know.
readers, if you're a reader on Facebook, do y'all have a special name like a Bookstagram? But like, what do you call yourselves? What do you call the
Yeah,
community?
but
Or
if
do
you
you
have, yeah,
just say
so if you
Facebook?
see weird things from your communities, or if you have these same things that happen, like leave us a voice memo on Anchor or drop a comment somewhere and or shoot us a DM over on Instagram. Like just
Let us
email us
know.
anything. Just let us know because like we're so curious about the
Very
other communities. I mean, book Twitter is a terrifying place that I don't think any of us really want to go
well.
in deep into.
However, TBR Lowdown is now on Twitter at TBR Lowdown. So
But we're a safe space.
we are a very safe space. Feel free
Hmm.
to converse with us on Twitter. No
Hmm.
judgment here. We just want to make other bookish friends. And also, we want to make other bookish podcast friends. So if you have a
Yes.
bookish on Twitter, please follow us and send us a little um, tweet or something so that we know who you are and we can share
Yeah,
what we're going through in this podcast world.
we've only done what, one interview, and we kind of need to do more collaborations like that because I think that was a ton of fun.
So
Our
much fun.
episode 2 with Carmen was so much fun.
It really was.
I want to get Said by Jess on. That's what I want
Yeah,
to do.
yeah, for sure. We've got a list of people we want to talk to. So, anyway, I'm excited about this bookish conversation.
Who do you want to start? Do you want to start with the bookish body count? Is that what we want to call it? The bookish body count.
Let's do it. Let's
So,
do it.
so I think that's like one of my favorite weird things, and I think I see it more on YouTube because that's where I post my wrap ups, and many people leave comments that say, "I thought I was doing insert number." But you read insert number, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what does it matter? Did you read a book where how? Like,
Yes.
it's not a question.
But Bookstagram makes you feel like it is for some weird reason. There, I just had a thought.
Hmm.
I just had a thought. Here's what I think it is. People, let me know in the comments on the blog or on our Instagram at TBR Lowdown if you agree or disagree. So, in the book community, people put a lot of emphasis on reading goals, how many books a year they want to read. Now,
Yes.
Alyssa, you know I don't care about this.
No.
I
And I
don't
set a
set a
goal, but
number. But okay, sidebar to what I'm getting ready to say. I don't even know why you set a number. You're
really just
going you're
I
going
don't
to read a crap ton of books regardless. No, seriously. You are going to read a lot of books regardless because you read every day. You make it a point to at
yeah.
least read 5-10 minutes a day. If that's all you have, that's what
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
So you are going to read a lot of books no matter what. So to me it seems like you don't need to set a number. But also I don't understand the need to set a number. There are certain people that are like I just want to read this amount of number of books a year. I'm not really certain why there has to be a certain number. I don't know what that means for someone. I would love to know. I do not set a number. I set my Goodreads goal to 1. That's it.
I think I put something on there just because I like to have like trackable goals for certain things, but because plus I'm already keeping track of every book I read on Bookly. I'm really behind in my Goodreads. I have to get there before I'm like 50 books behind because then I won't update my Goodreads. But I don't know. It's kind of like meaningless, but I just do it sort of for myself. Mean anything because I know I'm going to read whatever I'm going to read, and if I read
Mm-hmm.
200 books or if I read 20 books, like I don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah. But a
But
lot
I
of
know
people
I'm
do
not going to
care.
read 20 books because like you said, I read all the time. So I know
Right.
I'm not going to I know I'm going to read a crap ton of books.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it's a weird thing to me on Bookstagram, but I think it is that reading goal that people set for themselves that drives this feeling of competition
yeah, cuz people
to
are always
me.
saying, "Oh, they'll post their Goodreads goal and they'll be like, "Oh my god, I'm 5 books behind." And I'm like,
Right.
"All right. What
But
does that
here's something
mean?"
else. It doesn't mean anything, but also in some respects, I think that not you, but the you in general, those that set these reading goals, sometimes I think you may be setting yourself up to be in a position where you're not really you're not really reading books that are fulfilling you because you're trying to get to this number. Because what I see a lot of is, oh, I'm just going to read a whole bunch of graphic novels or short stories to catch up to my goal.
Yeah.
But understand, like we all have different reading goals, right? I don't want to rush to get to a certain number. I want to really enjoy what I'm reading on my own time, not for the sake of meeting a certain number of books to read by the end of the year. To me,
Yep.
that feels like you're sacrificing some of the joy of reading with trying to meet a number, which I
Yeah.
think is ridiculous. But that's my personal opinion.
I mean, that's how I feel like when we do the Read Like Lacey challenge and reading 50 read a lot of books that I enjoyed, but I don't read like that all the time for a reason because I just want to read what I want to read. I don't want to try to think about like how many I can cram in.
Right. But like we just do that 1 month as like a little fun
Yeah.
little game between our little intimate
Yeah.
book group.
Yeah.
But that's not our entire reading life.
No. And we don't feel the need to function like that all the time.
Right, right. If you're a person who sets reading goals and you're like serious about this goal, like it is your mission to make this goal, we would love to know like what's driving that and why you feel like you need to do that. I'm very curious because I also think it just puts like unnecessary pressure on yourself.
I agree.
So those are my thoughts. They're probably very unpopular and maybe a tad bit salty, but this
She's a little salty.
hey
Oh, wait.
whatever. It's
What did I
weird.
do?
What?
No, cancel. I hit something. I hit F.
Oh,
I hit an F something on my keyboard, and it
oh.
brought up a thing. And don't hit your F
Don't
button.
hit F things. That's not existing over here. Okay, so anyway, I just it's strange, and you're right. Those kind of comments when I do post a wrap up, they're like, oh, so many books, and I thought I was doing a great job, and it's like we're all doing a great job if you feel like you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah.
Did you have an enjoyable reading month? That's the question.
Yeah.
Did you have an enjoyable reading month?
Did you like what you read? Then that, if you
That's
didn't
it.
like what you read, what didn't you like about it? And can we find something that you like?
Exactly. Exactly.
So, this is your free time. This is the stuff that's supposed to bring you joy. Like, well,
Exactly.
let it bring you joy. Don't make it work.
Right.
She says, well, she's started a podcast and various other endeavors. Don't make it work.
Here we are. I guess I would just implore you to maybe you need to free yourselves of this annual reading goal number. Maybe some of you need to free yourselves.
I mean, I like seeing how many books I read every year.
Yeah, but again, I just put down one book. It's still going to show me how many I read.
It's true.
But my goal just says one book.
Mama Naomi says, F your goals. Just read the books.
Just read. Just I am not very precious about this thing. I just read. That's it. I just read.
Well, I also find it annoying that, like, in Bookstagram, the pressure to read the new hot popular whatever.
Oh, can we talk about it? Can we talk about it?
Like, I don't often give two shits. And sometimes I don't want to read it. Like, I think that's some of the stuff that was hard for us, um, probably through June of TBR Lowdown, was not getting
Oof.
sucked in with the pretty covers and the anticipated reads and the hyped up books and all of that, and really just trying to curate really good, interesting reads for anybody who wants to join us. And I think that, like, our readership has suffered as a
Mm-hmm.
result of that, but I'm
Yes.
hoping that it'll spring back when people do pick up the, that was a really good recommendation.
Right.
Um, but I can't just chase the hype because I'm just disappointed
Well, we don't have an
more often than
we
not.
don't have a general interest in chasing the hype. That is not and that's not to say that we don't like new releases. We do enjoy new releases, but that is not our end all to be all in our reading lives.
Yeah.
So again, like TBR Lowdown is focused on, diverse reads. And hey, guess what? That includes a hell of a lot of backlist books as well.
Yeah. And it includes a lot of books that maybe don't get as much time and maybe
Yeah.
should get more time on your feed. I think that we should read Angel of Greenwood
Yeah.
soon.
Yeah.
And, like, that book needs more airtime. Like, it needs
Yeah.
more FaceTime. It needs more, everybody needs, book was phenomenally executed, and
Mm-hmm.
it was, and we do not talk enough about, because
And
I
people still
was
don't even know about.
30 something years old before I even knew that happened.
Right.
Um, and I just, if no one else is going to do it, we need to step up and bring some awareness to an amazingly written YA beautiful book. All of the hyped book, like, check marks,
Yeah.
just needs more attention.
Yeah. I mean, if you look back at the books we've picked and you look like at the beginning, so we're coming up on our 1 year anniversary of the book club. Okay, we just launched this podcast just a couple weeks ago. But if you're looking at our picks from the beginning of our book club to like now, there's been a slight shift in the selections because we're trying to get back to the original mission of TBR Lowdown and also reading like what we enjoy, which is reading as diversely as we can. And I don't know, someone may be asking, why don't you all ever select, enter whatever popular book here? It's literally like 2,000 other book clubs on Instagram that are going to choose whatever the popular book is to read.
Mm-hmm.
We have plenty of that. But what we could say for certain is lacking in the book club space on the good Instagram is, more obscure diverse reads.
Yeah. Let's
That's surely lacking.
We need to broaden your horizons, or and our horizons. Like, we're doing this with you. It's not just you know,
Exactly.
we're doing it along with you.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that the podcast will help bring more people in and get people curious and reading along with us. Because I mean, that's the whole point of a book club. But even if it's just you and me all the time,
Right.
I'm still happy. Because out of what we're doing.
I'm getting so much enjoyment out of it. And I
Yeah.
still think people, even if they don't choose to read it, they still want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, this is a bookish podcast.
Yeah.
We talk about the books we've read, what we want to read, and yada, yada, yada.
Hmm.
So, but it is, it would be fun for you all to come along for the ride because I think we're choosing some really good books.
Interesting reads.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So I think we may have tapped on this before. So when people do those readathons or whatever, and we did talk about this like briefly at one point, and they have like the read a book with this, the check off, the prompts or
Yeah.
whatever. And in terms of diversity, what you always see is like read a book by a PLC author, and it's
Yeah.
like, is that it? Like, is that as far as we're going in like
Yeah.
diverse reading? That's that's just not good enough, in my opinion. But this is what you see often: read a book by a PLC author or a
It's a
BIPOC
place to
author.
start, but let's break beyond just being
Yeah,
like just doing things by color, I guess. Right? Like,
exactly.
oh, let me make my reading more colorful. I don't know.
Right,
I, I don't know if that makes
right.
any sense. But like that can I don't know. Sometimes that feels more leaning towards the performative. Like I've checked a box. They're
Mm-hmm.
developing a love for a greater range of stories, authors, genres,
Yeah,
all kinds of things. So
and you're right. I mean, there's definitely something that we got lost in the word diversity and thinking, or maybe just in explaining that it only relates to race.
mm-hmm.
And when we're talking about the world of literature, it's also like, for instance, how about let's find a great book about nature to read?
Yeah,
That's
I
diverse.
really want to read The Secret Life of Trees
The Secret Life. Why does that sound so familiar?
because it's a classic where they talk about the secret life of trees and how like trees even communicate with each other. Hold on, I need to fix my mic.
Okay,
It just like fell over.
because we have janky mic setups.
We're where this is the early days of podcasting where one day when we are great podcasters and one day we interview Oprah. Look at your face.
Or Michelle Obama. Are
Look
you
at
up
your little
there?
face.
Y'all don't
Michelle,
even want me to
can
go
you hear
down.
me?
You all don't want me to go down my Michelle Obama obsession rabbit hole. I'm not even going to go there right now.
But
Or yeah. So
we
what is
will
it? The
get
Secret Life
better.
of?
We will look back on these days, Naomi, and we will enjoy them. We will
We
be
shall.
like it'll be like our first apartments. We'll be like,
Yes.
wasn't this a
Yes.
fond memory?
Right. Look at us, adulting 101.
Woo! So, oh my God, we're insane. But what
That's
were
why
we
they
even
love
saying?
us.
I don't even remember what we
You
were
were
saying.
talking about the secret lives of trees.
Oh, I was gonna look it up. That's what I was trying to do. I was sitting back so I could look up Secret Lives of Trees so that I could read it to you. Um, but you're familiar with it because it's a classic. Uh, or is it The Hidden Life of Trees? It might be The Hidden Life of Trees. Silence.
That's all right. I'll take it all out. Because
The Hidden Life of Trees.
okay,
Okay,
the
there we
hidden
go.
life of tree. Okay.
It's what they feel, how they communicate, discoveries from a small world, and I guess it's a whole series of different books. It looks
Oh,
like,
yes, it is. The Mysteries of Nature series.
yeah, and it's translated.
Oh my gosh. Oh wow. So this is okay, there's 4 works. Interesting.
Yeah, so you're gonna. It talks just about like the life of trees,
Mm.
and it just sounds really interesting
Well,
and
all of these sound interesting. And that the inner life of animals, love, grief, and compassion. Mm.
see, and like here's a whole series of things that
I'm adding the first one to my list so that I just have it. Oh wow. Okay, yeah.
the inner life of animals, the secret wisdom of nature, Das Geheim Ben Winch Mensch, and I don't
Yep,
know. It's
that. Mm-hmm.
that.
That one. That one.
Sorry, anybody who speaks German.
So I'm looking to see if that one's been translated yet. And it hasn't.
Yeah.
Not that it's showing here on Goodreads, that is.
But yeah, there's books, there's all these things that like I don't know, like there's so much more and I've realized it with like my booktube watching. I've shifted from your more traditional cute booktubers, your the biblio whatever,
Oh, I've unsubscribed from
and
those a while ago.
I've shifted from all of those people that when you first sort of jump on, you kind of end up in that bucket,
Yeah,
and
because that's
then
all YouTube shows you.
I've shifted over to my Eric Carl Anderson's the cutest dork in the entire freaking,
Isn't
which is
he so adorable? I just, yeah,
he.
yeah.
Did you watch his newest vlog where he goes to the
Oh, the
women's prize?
I'm so jealous. So jealous.
Totally jealous. Also, like when he's talking to the Virginia Woolf statue, I'm just like, I
He's
could
a
hug
dream.
you right now, sir. Um,
You know, you need to watch Savage Reads. I think you'll like Simon.
okay, I haven't watched that yet.
I
I
like
I
him and
will
his
admit
mother.
that I don't watch as used to because for the most part I don't find it all that interesting because so much of it is kind of the same thing over and over again. But there are those select people that really introduce me to new and more diverse reads,
Yeah.
and I find them a lot more compelling. And but I really just end up on YouTube getting distracted by anti-MLM content. And by I mean multi-level marketing, not men loving men. I
Right.
don't
Oh,
watch it.
yikes. Right.
I'm very
Right.
pro men loving men. I'm very
Right.
anti multi-level marketing.
Yeah, I have, aside from you and Jess, because you guys are my friends. Um, People that I don't know, I really just watch Russell, Simon, Eric, and Miranda for the most part. Miranda Mills,
Hmm.
I
I know the
adore
name, but I
her.
haven't watched her.
I adore her. I adore her. So those are the ones I watch on a regular basis when I'm on BookTube.
Yeah, I want more people that I know they're going to give me things that I haven't heard of before or
Mm-hmm.
are going to talk about something maybe I've seen but I don't know much about. Like they're not just going to give me the same old. What is he barking about?
Oh, I did find two younger booktubers that I've really been into because they read a lot of interesting literature. Um, Now I watch Emmy, and the other one's name is Carolyn something.
Emmy, is
Because
she
what they were,
British?
Emmy is not British. She's not British. What's her channel called? Oh, she's called Emmy. And she's got the little asterisk, so asterisk star thing, EMMIE asterisk star thing. That's who I'm talking about. And then the other one is Carolyn. So they do a series together where they do like Tolstoy versus Dickens or whatever. It's really great.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen
That's
that.
how I found them. So now I watch their channels individually as well. But I enjoy those two young ladies. I really
So
do.
I followed her and your Savage reads.
Mm-hmm.
Some hard typing. Okay, who else you got? Melanie, Melinda, Mel.
Miranda Mills. The topping on the cake for Simon and Miranda is they do videos sometimes with their mothers,
Oh, you don't want a
and
video of
I
their
love
mother.
I love their mothers. So it's just a good time. And like Miranda and her mom, they have this one a segment where series where they'll like they bake something, you know, so you got the baking segment and then they sit
Aw.
down and they eat what they've baked while they talk about a book. They're just so wonderful. They are just so lovely. And they say that a lot. They're like, oh, it's so lovely. I love them.
We need to move next to each other so we can do shit like that.
Get talk
But
about
I
it,
will never
right?
be that prim. I say things like, we need to move next to each other so we can do shit like that. Like,
And I'm like,
we got class friends. We are classy. We are two
classy.
classy broads.
Oh man, but oh, so that book that I recently purchased called The Feast by Margaret Kennedy, that was a book that Miranda had been talking about, and I was like, God darn it, that sounds good. So I bought that because of her.
If I could
So,
get my mother on YouTube's, we could have whole mystery segments, but she won't go on social
oh,
media.
okay, it's Carolyn Marie Reeds. That's the other girl who Emmy does the Tulsa versus Dickens yada yada video series. And I enjoy them together and I enjoy them individually.
Carolyn.
Carolyn Marie Reeds. So like they read like a lot of classic literature, a lot of diverse stuff. So I enjoy it.
I think that I pick Tolstoy in that head to head, by the way.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
I think he's a. Can you hear that?
I can.
It's so annoying. I don't know what he's barking about.
So, but
What?
I think that we talked about this before. These are people that I get a lot of really great book recommendations from.
Mm-hmm.
For Bookstagram, like it's like two people that I really trust to get book recommendations from. I just find more value in the book recommendation world from booktubers. These ones that I'm talking about specifically.
And we've
So
discussed this because,
yeah,
you really get to know how somebody feels about something when you see them really talk about it. I think
exactly.
as opposed to just getting a photo or even one of our dumb bookish reels, because most of our reels are stupid. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
just going to say that they're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
And we're all pandering to the algorithm, which makes me
Mm.
angry. Um,
I'm just doing my preach,
do you
sister,
want me? Do you want
preach.
me to go down that rabbit hole? Or we talked enough about that with Carmen, but I just think that it's stupid. My TikTok isn't really like a book talk. I've decided. I think that short form video is not my jam for book reviews.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy to occasionally throw in a book review. I'm happy to do, but for the most part, TikTok is like just another place for if the nursery it's for you to understand. It's like a little bit of a snapshot into my personal life, right? Like it's
Right.
just like a little look at me as a human, like Alyssa the reader, not like focused on just the
Just
books.
books. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And because that's the only way that I can see to use the content, like
Right.
the platform. I mean, is to make more personalized content. That's just a little bit more of a look into the creator than
Mm-hmm.
everything else. Because they're so stupid.
Listen, I'm getting ready to piss some people off. I'm sorry, guys, but these book talk tags, they are boring AF. They are
Yeah.
boring.
And almost
I
everybody
just
talks about the same freaking books and everything. So it's like,
right.
I got it. You want me to
Yeah.
read Colin? She's great. Like, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed Verity. I need to read more Colleen Hoover, but like, there's more than Colleen Hoover in this world.
Right. I don't know. I never went to TikTok for book talk before.
Yeah.
I always went for everything else. It is just very recently that I started following book talkers, and I honestly almost want to unfollow all of them. I'm just bored with that. I'm bored with the community. It's not thrilling to me. The
Yeah.
tags are dumb. I just feel like I think like Carmen said, like the entertainment is the reading part.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. To each their own, but like I'm very bored with it. I don't find it interesting at all. Every now and then you'll get a clever one.
Yeah.
Every now and then.
I do think
But
Carmen puts a lot of effort into trying to make hers
oh, she's
more
putting in
than
some work.
just like a throwaway. So, but most of
She
the
puts
other
in
ones
work.
are kind of like, I'm going to put on a song, I'm going to do a dance because we know that songs and dancing works. And
Yes, it
then
does.
it's just like pictures of books. Okay.
Right.
Like April's reels are funny. Like, or like, and there's thought
Yeah.
behind them and they're original and they're fantastic. The rest of it is just stupid.
Right. Because I know my most popular reels. I don't even. They're not even bookish.
I think my most popular reel is of my brother's dog.
Right. Maybe I have one. The one where I did when book nerds get kidnapped.
Yeah.
That one was very popular. But the other ones that are popular are not bookish. I mean, I held up a book in one of them, but it wasn't bookish.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
We're just pandering to the algorithm and I'm too old. Too old.
I mean, I have so many things to do. It's like I don't know. Anyway,
I do not care.
yeah, we do not care.
We do not
So
care.
who knows? I was gonna say something else and I forgot. Oh well, it'll come to me later. I don't know. Anyway, what's next in
I
this
don't know.
bookish, you know what?
What?
Shall we tap on the TBR conversation?
Oh yeah. TBRs.
So in 2019, I tried doing TBRs every month, and I don't like it. I don't like making TBRs. A lot of the time, I end up wanting to read something completely different.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, for me, reading is something that I'm doing over my lifetime. I'm going to read until the day I die. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
See these bookcases behind me for those looking at the video? Every unread book on these shelves is my TBR, which means they are to be read over my lifetime.
Wait till I get my shelves up. That's gonna be terrifying. I'm gonna have to live 3 lifetimes.
You know what I mean? Like, over my lifetime, like, there's no rush to read these. They will get read sometime during my lifetime. That is it. That is it. So I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I need to clear up my TBR. I need to clear up my TBR." I mean, if you feel like you need
I
to
think
me, there's no rush.
sometimes I feel like sorry, somebody drove by, so I was um
Mm,
uh taking a little bit of nosy Naomi neighbor. Um Sometimes I feel like I need to clean off my shelves. Like there's definitely books I'm never gonna read. Like I bought them, I'm never gonna read them. Why did I buy this? Those are the books I unhaul, or like I'm not gonna read this again.
same.
Like I definitely need to purge my collection.
I do that
Um,
often.
but my TBR, so obviously I make a list every doing my shelves, and it's more about making a list of things that I'm hoping I can get to because these are the things that I kind of aspirationally want to get to every month, and it's more about going and looking at everything that I have and saying like this is a really good book, I should put this to the front of the pile and this. And I often don't read half of what I show people on my
Mm-hmm.
shop my shelves, and I
Yeah.
don't care. Like it doesn't matter to me, and sometimes I'll read it like the next month, sometimes I'll read it the next year. But
Right.
I didn't even do a shop my shelves for this month because I didn't shop my shelves. You gave me freaking books to read, and now I have too many books to read. So So I don't even think there's going to be a shop your shelves for September because we're in the middle of September and it's like, what's the point now? So I'll just do my wrap ups and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, and my wrap up, I'll have to be like, Naomi picked all my books, so that's why we have no shop your shelves. Um, but I don't like the idea of setting a firm TBR because sometimes you just don't want to read it, or something comes out, or like I don't know,
You're
like
just you're in the mood for something different.
your library holds come in and you're like, oh, I've been wanting to read this, like whatever. And there's only so many hours in a day, in a week, in a month.
Seriously.
The only thing that I hold firm to, which is going to irritate me probably a little bit, but because the book is so challenging, I'll be okay, is I like to finish whatever I'm reading and start fresh each month. So at the end of
I do too.
the last day of the month, I want whatever I have going to be done, and then I'll start new reads. But the Ulysses is going to hang over until October, which will probably
Right.
irk me, but the whole
Right.
book is irking me at this exact moment. So,
Yeah, typically I don't like holdovers. Typically. Now this no wait. This no. August I had two holdovers, I think. I had a holdover from Ace of Spades and something else. I think it was Unsettled Ground. But typically I whatever I'm reading for that month, like I need to wrap it up, you
yeah,
know. Fresh month starts a fresh book. I generally don't like holding books over.
yeah. That's like, and that's just like a weird me thing. I don't think that it matters
It doesn't, but it's a
at
clean the
all.
plate thing for me. It's just,
Yeah. I
yeah,
just like to clear the decks and be
yeah,
like, all right, it's October now. Let's go.
right,
But
exactly.
I do like going through my books and pulling out books and showing people things. And also just being able to promote the idea of looking at
Absolutely.
and pulling, just getting distracted by the new stuff that is in your feed,
Right,
which
right.
I think we are all guilty of. That's the word I'm looking for. I'm like, what's the word? We're all guilty of getting
Mm-hmm.
distracted by whatever the new thing is, or
And
whatever the
again,
thing that's getting talked about now is. So
right,
sometimes it's not new, sometimes it's a little backlist.
yeah. And I mean, again, like we're not anti new release. Like I had been waiting for Night Bitch to come out for months. I knew I was going to read that book when it came out. I put that sucker on order at the library. They were actually quick this time to order it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got it fairly quickly when it came out. And I read that last month. It was fantastic. So we're not anti new release, but like our lives certainly do not revolve around what's coming out next.
Yeah. Well, there's also just too many books. Like, there's so many amazing books, which is why I love things like the Book Barn, because I can go and I can
Mm-hmm.
pick up amazing books, new and old,
Mm-hmm.
or newer, I should say, and old, that I want to read. Like that Sex and Vanity, that Kevin Kwan book. I was all over the place, what, last year? I really
Yes.
want to read that, but I wasn't going to go buy it.
Right.
Like, I don't really like buying thrillers anymore.
Mm.
Like, I will get arcs of thrillers sometimes, and I will go to the book bar and I will spend $1 on thrillers. But for the most part, I don't want to buy a
Same.
thriller. I'm not spending $20 on a book that I'm going to read once, know the twist, and either
Yeah.
love it or be disappointed. Because
Same.
that's where I'm at with thrillers. Like,
Same. Same.
oh,
I
lipstick. I like The Great Circle. Sorry to interrupt you. The Great Circles book. I will happily spend
oh,
$20 on that book because that is the kind of book that I'm either going to give out to people to read, like my mom, and be like, read this book,
mm-hmm.
or I'm going to reread.
And I will happily pay the $26 for Night Bitch because that book was fantastic and I
Mhm.
will read it again. And no, people, you may not borrow it
So
from me.
I'm sorry to everybody that they have to listen to my dog bark. He's incredibly needy and it's my fault. But he can't come upstairs because he's old and his back legs don't work. Well, they do, but sometimes they just stop, which is not good when you're going up and
Oh,
downstairs.
poor baby.
I know. He hasn't been upstairs since like November.
Wow.
So we've been
Oh,
sleeping alternately on the couch since November.
poor baby.
Yeah.
He's like, Mama, Mama,
Come down, mommy. I can hear you. Mother. He
get us
started
some.
at 6 o'clock this morning because he's left for work.
Oh,
And
boy.
I was Like I was already awake because for some reason I woke up at like 5:30. Jesus came upstairs to get something. He's like, "What the hell are you doing up?" I was like, "I don't know." Just up. And then I went downstairs and went back to bed with the dog. I was like, just waiting for Hemi to call me.
Oh
Like
my gosh.
30 minutes later, he started
Right.
barking.
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm sure they don't mind. There are
No,
some
don't mind
dog
the
moms and
dogs.
dads listening right now. So,
Anybody else, electric dog, you understand.
right. Oh man, but you know, TBRs. It's a weird thing. Again, something else that I feel like puts pressure on yourself. Oh, I gotta read my TBR. I mean, you don't have to. You can change your mind and read something else that's not on your TBR. You can read whatever you want.
Well, we're in the same vein. How do you feel about reading arcs? Because I feel like people put a lot of pressure on themselves to finish all their arcs
Oh
before
my
they're out.
god, I haven't finished an arc in like a year.
And like, I read my arcs, I just don't always read them before the books are out.
I mean, I read them eventually.
I get there. I'm happy to
Eventually.
do spotlight photos. I'm happy to do whatever, but a lot of times I don't read to publication. I did read Beasts of Prey because I sat on that call with the author,
Yeah.
and it just sounded so. Well, I was trying to finish it that day, and I didn't get there because Jesus was distracting me. I feel like all I do is nag on Jesus, but relationships, and
Yeah, facts.
nobody wants to hear about the good stuff. That's boring.
Right. Exactly.
And I didn't quite finish it, but it was really good. It was surprisingly good because we've had so many not good BIPOC new release YA fantasies. I feel like,
Mm,
or not good for. Let me rephrase this. Not good for me. Like we did.
got it.
That's a better way for me to say it because I know a lot of people have liked certain things. Like apparently, lots of people like the ones we're meant to find, and I just was like, how, why, explain. Um,
Explain, please.
and not every book is for every person, and that's totally cool. But like Beast of Prey was so flipping good, like so good, like so good,
I'm gonna
and I'm
try to read it
excited
this
for it to
month.
come out.
I'm gonna try to read it this month.
Yeah,
That's another one. Like I've had that arc for like 2 months already.
yeah. But now I also have a buttload of other arcs that I haven't even looked at.
Yeah.
But will I read them? Sure, I will get there. Some of them are on my October spooky reads list.
Oh yeah, mine is too. Like I'm holding out on reading White Smoke for October.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one to come next week.
Yeah, I'm holding out. So yeah, I mean, people do whatever you want, but we're just saying, post like the caption is so pressure filled about meeting your TBR goals. It's like just scrap the damn TBR then. Like again, free yourself. I think I'm just a person. I don't need to put any additional pressure on myself. Life is hard as it is. I do not need to be putting pressure on myself about reading in any
Yeah.
way.
I
In
also
any
feel like
way.
unless you're gonna pay me to promote your book, maybe this is gonna get me off of a lot of marketing lists, but like unless you're gonna pay me to promote your book and to write reviews and to push your marketing, I I don't feel obligated to hit a deadline for the reading. Like I will hit
Mm-mm.
deadlines for posting, like if I've agreed to post,
Yeah.
but when it comes to reviews, like I will do those here and there. Like when they're indie authors, I feel like I'm more amenable to doing the review for you at a certain time because I feel like it has more impact. But when it's like a big name author and you've given me an e-arc and you're like, whatever, I don't feel as compelled because like 97,000 other people are going to do it.
Yeah. That's true. But also I know some of the publishers, they specifically say you are not required to really publicly share this book.
Yeah.
It would be nice if you did,
Yeah.
but we're not requiring you to.
Yeah.
So, you know, do with that what you will. So
because it's all time, right? Like we are giving free marketing to publishers
mm-hmm.
through our, so what I agree to is whatever I want to agree to because it's my time and you're not even compensating me for it for the most part.
Right. I mean, at a minimum, we're going to share that we received the book,
We'll do a pub
and
day,
then I have not been
maybe.
doing pub days. You know what I've realized, because Tuesday is the only day that I physically go into work. That's pub day, and I haven't been doing pub days since I went back into the office on Tuesdays.
Hmm.
But so we're at least going to do a post just sharing that we received the book,
Yeah.
and then we're
Especially
going
if
to
you send me a
do
physical copy. If you send me a physical copy, I will most likely post about it either in a book
right
haul, in a post somewhere. I'm going to do it. If you send me
exactly.
an e-arc, I feel a hell of a lot less compelled to
I'm
share
not.
anything.
I'm not going to do it, and then you're going to at least do another post when you actually read the book. So you're at a minimum, a publisher is going to get two posts out of me for
Yeah.
one book at a minimum.
Yeah.
So that's that. But the ebooks don't count on me. During the
Personal
panorama, yeah,
panorama.
the panorama, and some publishers switched exclusively to ebooks during that time. I read not a one because I'm not like inherently an ebook reader. It takes a
I
lot
will
of.
get there eventually, but I'm not as compelled to do it
Mm-hmm.
when
It's
it's an
hard
ebook.
for me. It's hard for me. Very hard. So yeah, I have so many on my Kindle from that period, and it's like I'm probably never gonna read. Well, I won't, because now they're all out, and if I want to read them, I'll get the physical copy.
Mhm.
So, you know, TBR's arcs. Hmm.
But I am very grateful that we get books in advance, and I love that I
Mm-hmm.
get to know what's going on. I love that we have like our finger on that pulse, and we
Yeah.
can recommend things. And like I never would have known about Slewfoot if I wasn't on the publication list
Oh, you would
for,
have known about it from me.
yeah. But
Only because I like that author.
on my own, I wouldn't have known
Yeah.
about Slewfoot
Yeah.
without being on the tour pub list. But there are things like the tour, like when tour sends me books, I flipping read those. And there are publishing houses where when I work with them, I work with them. Like they don't have to pay me. Like I'm gonna read your books, and if
Yeah.
you're gonna send me something, like I am grateful. And then there are others where I'm like, okay,
Let's dig into that a little bit, because I've been having some thoughts around arcs and publishers, right? So some of the publishers that I work with, okay, so for specifically Catapult, Counterpress, um, Soft Skull, I really like those three publishers
mm-hmm.
because I feel like they really publish books that are like my jam, which
Yes,
are somewhat obscure. They're definitely not quote unquote popular. So well written, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So those three in particular, I love.
That book
Atria,
I
I
just got,
enjoy.
that book
Mm-hmm.
I just got, the witches one, I think is
The
Catapult.
Manitry, yeah, the Manitry Witches.
Yeah, that one's Catapult, I think.
Mm-hmm. Atria, I enjoy most. Pretty good picks, but they are more mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
I am on the fence about like the YA division of Harper, because I'm not really a YA reader. Every now and then there's something I like White Smoke. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like on the whole, y'all already know this. I'm not really a YA reader, so I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to continue with them or not, because I don't really read like this go around when they sent their 2021 2022 list. I selected nothing. I
Did
selected
I
nothing.
select it? I'm not on that list.
I selected nothing. So, you know, I know when a lot of people come into the bookstagram world, they're like, "Oh, I just really want to get arcs. I'm so excited to get arcs," and it's like, I mean, okay, but
You
I'm
get a
just
lot of arcs though. Like you're a bigger creator than I am. You get like a ton of arcs. I feel like when we do our unboxings for each other, you do get a lot of ARCs.
Well, let me say this though, it has nothing to do with my numbers because I was getting these when I had only like 3,000 members,
Ah,
followers. So that's another little. People think you have to have this huge amount of followers to get arcs, and you don't.
you don't.
Even
You just need to post somewhat consistently on
right,
books.
because even when I was at like the 15 2,000 mark, I was
Hmm.
already working with 4 or 5 publishers at that point.
Yeah,
So don't think that you have to have a big number to get arcs. But the other thing is understand that it can be overwhelming getting arcs
it is.
because when those suckers start flooding in, oh, they flood in.
Mm-hmm.
It is a lot. I got 2 stacks right behind me on the floor, and it's like, okay,
I mean,
okay,
I can just go over here. Like I moved 3 feet and I have an arc. Also, but this
yeah,
looks phenomenal.
yeah. So
Um,
they're great to get. So I think once you get over the excitement of getting arcs, I think it's important to really determine who you really want to get them from, and that's where I
yes,
am. This is where
yes.
I am.
There are some people I would love to get on the list for. Like I would
Yeah,
love to get on
$2 radio,
yes.
Pushkin
And
Press.
yes, Pushkin Press would be
You
amazing.
you and I need to be on Pushkin Press and $2 radio for sure. That's our
Mm-hmm.
jam.
Mm-hmm.
That's our jam.
Gotta figure that out.
Yeah.
Some of the ones that you're on, like Catapult and stuff, I would like to be on
Mm-hmm.
because I'm finding I'm moving into like
It's
Double
up your
Day. I
alley.
feel like Double Day has some really good stuff.
Doubleday is pretty good. Doubleday is pretty good, but
Mm-hmm.
there are so many publishers out here. And I'll give y'all a tip. I think it's would behoove you to create an Idlewise account because that's where you can go see all the publisher catalogs. And if you go there, you can really get a sense of, okay, these are really the publishers that I kind of jive and jam with. And
Yeah.
so let me go after them. Because I think that you want to be targeted in the kind of arcs that you receive. And you need to be really critical of the publishers you're choosing to work with so that you're not just getting arcs for the sake of getting arcs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I like fantasy. I like dark things. I like weird books.
Yeah.
Tour. I like
Mm-hmm.
literary fiction. Um, I like some thrillers. So
Mm-hmm.
my whole like little thing with William Morrow actually works really well. But I want to get on some of the smaller listings for the
Right.
lit fic stuff. I like nonfiction, so I get nonfiction from Scribner
Mm-hmm.
and someone else. Who was it? Henry Holt, I think it is.
Oh, Henry Holt's good. I'm not on their list, but they DM me often and offer me books.
Yeah,
But I'm
and
not
so
on their list. Does that make
a bunch
sense?
of yeah, I have a bunch of random books that I will get to at some point. You know, in November when we read a lot of nonfiction books
Mm-hmm.
that I'm really excited about, which is really funny because this book that just came out, I keep waving it around, that I got from Scribner, which I showed you before, which was like about this transgendered
Oh
Scottish
yes.
gentry,
Yes.
and comes out in the very beginning of November,
Mm-hmm.
according to
I
the
can't
book.
wait to hear your thoughts on that because that when you were talking about that book, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and this is what so people can hear it because they can't see it. The hidden case of Ewan Forbes and the unwritten history of the trans experience, which
Nice.
this sounds. I keep smacking my mic. This sounds fantastic,
Yes, it
and
does.
the whole story is just it's crazy, um, and it's got to be. It has to be compelling. There's no way that
Yeah,
this isn't compelling. Um, yeah. So
it sounds really good. Yeah, so just like we call through
Hemi is
our
going to lose his mind.
he's is he okay?
He's fine. He's just standing in the
Okay.
front door looking at the stairs, barking.
Okay. Just like we call through our personal collection of books to like, figure out do we want to keep all this stuff? I do that. I would say quarterly
Mhm.
because you do buy books and maybe a year or two down the road you realize, you know what?
I'm
I
never
really
going to
don't
read
have
this.
exactly. So I do like a quarterly culling of my books and I go through and take out stuff I don't want to read and I, go to McKay and I trade those books in for store credit, baby. That's what I do. And same thing goes for, publishers. Look at who you're currently working with and ask yourself, are my reading desires still in line with these publishers? And if they're not, just make some changes.
I feel it's the same way with book tours. Like if you do book tours, when I first started doing book tours, I said yes to like everything, and now I'm trying to be a lot more selective about what because these books pile up really quickly,
Yeah,
and you may or may not ever read them. I'm keeping because I will read them at some point, and often I get rid of them because they're from the beginning when I was just saying yes to everything because you just
yeah.
wanted to get the books,
This
right?
year, yeah, I think last year I did a lot of tours. This year, I have turned down a lot of tours because it's also it's I just it's time.
Yeah,
Time. I'm doing other things. And now that we have this podcast, like a lot of my focus and energy is going here.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I've turned down a lot of tours, and I've turned down a lot of offers to get arcs for other books because I just it's like I'm not going to get to this.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get to this. Like my priority right now is getting this podcast up, and it's get it.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's like, do I honestly have time to do that for this particular book? And sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to say no.
It's okay to say no.
You know
And
what I
for the
mean?
most part, they're not going to take you off their list. It's not like saying no or being selective or only asking about one title that you're really interested in. I mean, you're either going to get it or you're not. And no one's going to take you off the list cuz for, one quarter you said I don't really want anything or I just want one book. Like
But
it's all free marketing for them.
here's the thing though. Even if they did take you on the list, these are not books that you can't get just because you're not
It's
on the
true.
list.
It's not like at
You'll
the end
just
of the
have
day you
to
can't get
either
the damn book.
you can buy the book or you can get it from your library. So even if they kicked you off the list, it's not the end of the world. You can still get the book.
Yeah, the book doesn't stop existing because you're not on the
Exactly.
marketing list.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah. Oh my god, this dog. Did you want to talk about annotations before Hemi like barks himself to death
I
downstairs?
I do because I've been thinking about there's a lot of books that I read just passively, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are some books it's like I really want to read more actively. And in order to do that, I really need to engage with the book and I want to like mark it up. And I know that when people see, for those of you watching the video, I'm holding up my copy of The Master and Margarita, and you can see there are a lot of um, tabs, sticky tabs on here. But that's not just what I'm talking about. So I'm talking about marking up the book. I'm
Which is
not just
something a lot of people don't like. Jesus will not read a book that I have marked up.
yeah. Yes, this is gonna make some people cringy, but like this is me owning my book.
Mm-hmm.
This is me fully owning my book. I'm reading it. I'm taking notes. I'm asking questions. I'm posing thoughts and ideas on the pages of my book. I'm not just putting a tab on because what I realized is putting the tab on the page. What is that telling me?
Mm-hmm.
It's telling me nothing. I tabbed it for what? I'm gonna go back and say why the hell did I tab this page?
Yeah.
So like I'm getting very intimate with my books, and I think I like
Bow,
it a lot.
chicka, bow, wow.
Bow, chicka, bow, wow. Bow,
Intimate
wooka,
with my boo.
baka, And so,
Where's your
and
sexy naked Ulysses? Ulysses.
okay, all right. And marking
Nice,
my books,
sexy.
I'm
Looks good.
trying new marks in my books. So I'm trying new ways of marking up my book to make things make more sense. I'm trying different things out. So for instance, in this one, like each time there's like a new name, I'm putting a rectangle around it and I'm using this purple color tab to let me know that on this page I've put a rectangle around a name so that these names stick out to me so I don't forget. I'm circling words that I don't know what they mean, or I'm circling places that I may want to look into and see where they are if they're real.
Yeah.
Um,
A
I'm
lot of the
putting,
places in that book are real.
yeah, I'm putting page numbers on pieces in the book that are related to one another. So when I'm reading further in the book and it's talking about something like, oh, I read that back on this page, and I go back to that
Yeah.
page, and they go current page and put the initial page that was on. Does that make sense?
That does
So
make
like
sense.
everything's connected, and
And
so
with Russian lit, I will say that marking the names is really smart because each person will end up having some of the hard things about following Russian lit is how many names a character could actually have depending on who's talking to them. Because
yes,
depending on who's addressing the character, they'll have a different formality of name.
Yes,
So it can get very confusing.
absolutely. Absolutely. And so I'm just trying different markings in my book. And I'm enjoying this process of figuring out what kind of annotation marks work for me in a book.
Yeah.
So, because I before I would like take notes in a separate notebook, and I realized for me I don't like that. I want all of my thoughts and everything written on in the book on the pages.
Yeah.
So this is what I'm experimenting with now.
I've started just marking up in pencil for the most part, and I don't my copy of passing is probably ooh, it's never out of reach.
I know.
So and
What
I've
did you
showed
say?
this. So I mean, so I guess you can probably see how fine that highlighter is.
Yeah.
So I have a pen that is like a fine, like gel tip
Mm-hmm.
kind of highlighter point, and I find it really helpful in marking up. And I do need to get more of those. I used to use them all the time in college because I don't like the full chunky highlight.
Yeah.
And so between that and my pencil, I tend to do a lot of marking up that way. But I mean, for our passing project, which you and I need to get back to,
Mm-hmm.
I do have a separate notebook for that. But that's because I are also talking, and the thoughts are a lot more. They're a lot lengthier
True.
than um, they are just for you, like my consumption. Does that make sense? So,
Yes. Yes.
but I do tend to highlight or underline things in the text as I go. I probably don't write as many notes because for me, sometimes I'm like, what am I even writing down?
Mm-hmm.
It's like I just enjoyed this passage, or like mostly it's like because I enjoyed the passage. So it's like, what am I writing down? Sweet, though. Um, my copy of My Dark Vanessa is heavily annotated, and a lot of my marks are just like, oh my god, this is disgusting. Like
Right.
the amount of just like, I guess, pure gut reaction to how just brutally
Yeah.
awful that story is.
Right.
And if you've never read My Dark Vanessa, just look at the description. You will understand lots of
Oh
trigger
yeah.
warnings. It is not for
So
everybody.
many.
It is not for everybody. Um, but I also don't know what to write, I guess, is my thing with annotations.
I think it depends on the book. You know,
Yeah.
with the Master and Margarita, I have a lot of questions um
This dog.
or like it'll be like my thoughts on what this particular passage meant,
Yeah.
or it could be me making a statement on what I just read based on something that was related to this passage maybe 5 chapters back.
Yeah.
So stuff like, I think it depends on the book, right? This
Yeah, it really
book,
does.
The Master and Margarita, just makes you pose so many questions. So, but also like I did all my markings in pencil for this one, but in Ulysses I started using a blue pen, and I think I'm gonna start using a blue pen.
Yeah, I think that you were talking about that yesterday.
Yeah.
Makes sense because you can't see.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
think he's just standing at the bottom of the stairs, barking up to me, and wants me to
Mama's
come
coming. We're
downstairs.
gonna take a break.
We're
Mama's
gonna take a
coming.
break. He's been walked and fed and all those things. He just needs attention.
Yeah, but let us know on the blog in the comment section or on our lowdown. What are your thoughts on TBRs? What are your thoughts on marking up your books? What are your thoughts on all these weird little pressures us readers put on ourselves? Let us know what you think.
Or like, what's just like a weird thing that you've seen in whatever community where you're whatever reading community you're in. Like, what's the
Yeah,
weird thing you've seen that doesn't make sense to you that people stress about or seems to be prevalent that maybe doesn't need to be,
right.
like that kind of thing.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us
Anyway,
know.
until next time. Bye.
Bye.